surprised as you are that someone would ask me to speak in front of the Christian schools. In fact, we're sitting there at Twisted Rooster. Love it. And Mark and Lon sit me down, and I figured they're trying to ask me for money or for something I didn't know what. When they said, hey, we want you to speak in front of the group at Blue and Black, I was shocked, to say the least. But I'm happy to be here. Thank you very much for the invitation. So why am I here? Well, to be honest, it's because I lost a bet. It was a big bet. It's a bet I lost. We're going to get to that, though. A little bit of history. I went to Seymour Elementary. I went to Millbrook Middle School, R.I.P. Go Mohawks. Lovely. Upon graduation from Millbrook, I went to Christian High. Christian High was a great place. Had a lot of great friends. Many of you are here tonight. Thank you very much for coming. Had a great time with the teachers. Had a great education. Had the opportunity to participate in sports. Played football, played basketball. Learned a lot about who I am, who I want to be. Learned a lot about other people. Learned what it's about to be on a team and to be part of the community and to grow and learn together. During that time, I had many experiences. Welcome, Tom. During my time at Christian, I had a lot of great experiences, and some of which were very important to me, ended up being extremely important to me in my life. A few in particular, there was a certain lady that I started to date in high school. No, it's not you, Rachel. Only an hour. She's cut it off. But with this young lady, I went on many non-date dates. We spent a lot of time together. We went socially. We went out together. We were on homecoming court together. She dated all of my friends. And then finally, there's our senior year. You know, I'm sitting at her house, I'm having dinner with her and her family. Her boyfriend comes to pick her up. But it was then I knew that she was the one for me. So it was my senior year that I started dating my now wife, Kelly Kingdom. Now, Dr. Damstra. A lot of great times at Christian High. Couldn't ask for anything more. Loved the people, loved the school. Left Christian High, Kelly and I both went on our separate ways. I went to college, she went to U of M, opposite sides of the mitten, but we decided that we're going to make it work. We spent as much time together as we could, being blue-collar type families. We would take trains, and buses, and whatever vehicle was available. We'd be stealing your roommate's car, to go see each other. It was great. Upon graduation, I hit the road. I was gone. I went to Texas. I took a new job with a company called Universal Forest Products. Kelly stayed here in Grand Rapids, worked as a labor and delivery nurse over at Spectrum Health. After a couple more years of courting, and after finding out that there really is nothing better for me than Kelly, Texas, I asked her to marry me. Thank God she said yes and saved me from the Wild West. In 2002, we got married. With marriage came a change for Kelly. She moved down to Texas with me. We had a great time in Texas. Texas is a beautiful place. If you guys ever get a chance to go. We had a lot of fun. We shared a lot of firsts together. We got to spend time in Austin on the weekends, on the riverwalk, floating the river, spending time with each other, discovering things. We bought our first house together. We had our first child together. A couple years later, we were blessed with another child. Times were good. Things were great. Our careers were going great. I couldn't ask for anything more. But there's this little voice in the back of my head that kept saying, hey, should we move back to Michigan? Should we be closer to friends and family? Do we need to think about sending our kids to Christian High because maybe they want to have the same experience as you do? Time goes on. We're raising our kids. Life is good. But that little voice in the back of my head it wouldn't stop. It just kept hitting me. So December 2009, and finally I turn around and I say to that voice, Kelly? Kelly, I'll make you a deal. Remember, it's December 2009. Times are rough. The economy's taken. Michigan, economy-wise, one of the worst places to live. So I make her a bet. Here's the bet. Say, hey, Kelly, as soon as you get a job, we'll move back.
Oh.
I thought to myself, it's perfect. You bought yourself at least a year or two. I don't think much of it. Go to work, finish up the week. 3 days later, I come home. I got a job. Talking about your all-time backfire. She made one phone call. 3 days later, she had a job teaching at Grand Valley State. I'm kind of in shock at this point. Not really in shock because I know you're great. But it kind of backfired on me. It's like, all right, it's time for change. Oh yeah, by the way, I'm leaving in 2 weeks because when class is starting, I need to start prep. I have meetings. We have faculty meetings. I'm taking the kids with me. Fantastic. So life very quickly gets accelerated. Long story short, here I'm in Texas. Kelly moves back to Grand Rapids. I'm finishing up transitioning my career, looking for a new one, and waiting to get back to Michigan to reunite with my wife and children. Sooner rather than later, I get back. A couple months later, I get back, and I move into the basement of our in-laws. You laugh. You joke about people that live with their in-laws. You're all wrong. It is the greatest thing ever. Think about this. You get free rent, right? No utilities. They own a grocery store. Daddy likes. Babysitter on tap. It was bliss. I never wanted to leave. In fact, they're well aware of the fact that I would move back right now. I think I got to move though after a little time. We found a house. We moved to Forest Hills. It's a great neighborhood. Got a great deal on the house. Dave Chrysler, shout out. And life is good. It's looking up again. We both reestablished our careers. The kids are growing up. I'm happy as a clam. We have a great elementary school, literally right down the street, in one of the best school districts in the state. Living in Forest Hills, I have no worries. This voice in the back of my head keeps coming in. Well, hey, I really want. Let's do this. What about the Christian schools? What are we going to do with our kids? I want them to have the same experiences. I heard a lot of I wants, I feels, and my heart says. As a man, as the kind of man I am at least, it doesn't really compute too well with me. It took a lot of processing. So we already have a kid enrolled in the Forest Hills public schools when he was young, from preschool and such. No shame. But I started thinking about it. Now it's becoming decision time. Max is getting older. We need to start making a decision. The decision is not an easy one. I'm more of a process guy, so I started thinking about it. When we're thinking about this process, when we're thinking about how this is going to work out, and what the decision-making process is going to be, I look at it 2 ways. There's like an art, and there's a science. The science is easy for me. Think in stats. Guys, hopefully you can follow me on this one. So I started doing research. Why would we send our kids to the Grand Rapids Christian schools? Why would we make this investment? Start looking things up like, well, 98% of all the kids that graduate Christian high go on to higher education. Kind of blew me away considering I just heard that Grand Rapids public schools increased their graduation rate that year from 51 to 52%. 78% of the teachers at the Grand Rapids Christian schools have a master's degree or higher, highly educated staff. I don't know of a business or an organization that has so many people with a higher education than that. And then finally, AP classes. I personally never qualified for AP. Hopefully some of you in here did. But a Grand Rapids Christian high student is twice as likely to qualify to take an AP class and 3 times more likely to receive credits for it. So on the science side of it, the research I did, it was a no-brainer already at this point. But we had a whole nother hunk of the decision that we had to make. Is it Grand Rapids Christian Schools, does it have the right community? Does it have the right people? Is it the right kind of culture that we want to raise our kids in? Things change. Things changed from when we were in school to now. And it was a hard decision to make. At this point, I said, hey, you know what? Let's further this conversation. Let's contact the schools and let's see what happens. So we contacted the school and said, hey, we're considering sending our child, Max, to Grand Rapids Christian Elementary. Mind you, he's already spent 3 years in the public school. He's only 5, he started again. And they say, hey, we'd love to meet Max. Fantastic, so let's set up a meeting. Well, pump your brakes. Well, can we go see him at school? Excuse me? Can we go see him in his current environment? Can we meet his teachers? Can we meet his fellow students? Can we see him in his element? Take one quick step back. Max is on the autism spectrum, so he has some different needs than other students. I was already blown away at that point. So Lisa Decker went to, like walking to the lion's den. That's my biblical reference for my speech. She was walking into the lion's den of a public school by herself to visit our child, to talk with his teachers, and just to learn about him and see how the Grand Rapids Christian Schools can better him within their community. She had me at hello at this point. I was amazed at the fact that someone would go out of their way, out of their time, put in the extra effort to go see and meet my child and learn about who they are. Not about a piece of paper or a report or hearsay, but meet who they are. I was amazed. So I decided at that time, Maverick, we decided at that time that we were going to take a chance. Let's take a chance. Let's enroll them in Grand Rapids Christian Elementary, and let's see what happens. Let's evaluate it over the course of a year, and we'll make a decision. So Max gets in school. Max, it's water. Needless to say, the year was practically flawless. His teaching this minimum was wonderful. You could just see in her eyes, not only her eyes, but Ms. Decker and the rest of the people at the school, that they cared. They weren't there filling up stats. They weren't there trying to make sure that the test scores were great. They were a loving and caring community. You could see it in my kid's eyes when he came home, that he appreciated where he was and he was loved. It wasn't about a test score, it wasn't about a report card. You could just feel it in him and you could see it in his smile. So even though I wanted to say no, because I wasn't going to be told what I'm going to do, I wasn't going to allow someone else to tell me what to do, I didn't want any outside influences to tell me what to do, but I knew at that time we were going to invest in Grand Rapids Christian as their second son. And it wasn't a fluke. Tyler enrolled this year at Grand Rapids Christian Elementary, and he received the same care, attention, and love from his teachers and the community at Grand Rapids Christian Elementary that our son Max did. So it wasn't a fluke. The science proved. We did it once, we did it twice. We'll call it proof. It's been a wonderful, wonderful experience at Grand Rapids Christian Schools, and I couldn't really ask for anything more. So what did we learn in this whole process? It's not about the numbers. It's not about the things. It is about the people. It's about the community. It's about people like you here tonight. It's so great seeing so many faces that I know. It's so great that the people here in this community come back over and over again, and not only support the school, but support each other, and we support our children together. And that's something that you don't find in other schools. You don't find it everywhere. Reflecting back at our times in college and in our professional careers, when we're talking about people, when I'm talking to other people about their kids and their experiences in college, high school, elementary school, they don't have what we have. They're jealous. And yes, I do want to give my child that same experience. So what did I learn in all this? First and foremost, I was wrong to dub my wife. It happened once. But I learned this, that education at the Grand Rapids Christian Schools, it's not a bet. You're not taking a chance. And when you're talking with your peers, with others, with your family, about what it means to send your kids in Grand Rapids Christian schools, your investment in your child and their well-being is a sure thing.